feel like there was something else that
I
was
forgot to
happening.
bedazzle my mic, Garrett. I'm so upset. I just realized that.
I'm scared about the bedazzling of the
I'm
microphone,
not going to hot glue it. Trust.
but you should.
Do you want me to?
I was thinking about this because I was like trying to figure out microphone logistics and everything,
Right.
and I was like, if we both bedazzle our mics, I have like this mic stand thing, which I think you should get.
I
And
know. I have the tab I'm sorry.
I'm kidding.
I have the tab open on my computer.
And I was like, what if we spend like an afternoon bedazzling this, have this fun little time, and then as soon as I put it in the microphone, it just corrupts everything. Everything spills out.
Oh my god. You know what? It would be a good bit.
It's
I
a
would
good
do it for
bit.
the bit.
It's a good bit. I've been doing a lot of bits recently. But
That's real. I
Yeah.
respect the bit big time.
The motion picture you're about to see does not concern itself with the social or civil rights of American citizens or with the economic or social problems of American cities. It was produced to warn citizens of the nature of a revolutionary force affiliating itself openly with aims of international communism, and now active throughout our nation in a planned offensive to destroy the American system and seize control of the United States.
anyway, I guess we're in it.
Anyway. Yo.
Truly Orwellian. This is episode 4.
It is episode 4.
We're getting up there.
We are.
Episode 4 is like almost 5. And
Yeah.
5 is a big number.
Yes.
And 5 is close to 10. And 10,
Exactly.
20,
Yeah.
50, 50, 100. It's huge.
You know, math, right?
Failed. I didn't fail every math class, but I cheated in every math class. And
You know
I'll
what?
admit that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I hate math. Yeah.
I hate math too.
I
I'm
think if
glad that I'm
you're-
done with it in college.
I think if you're a poli-sci major or like poli-sci adjacent major, you're like inherently bad at math because like has a single politician told the truth about the economy?
That's very true. Yeah.
Like, I think you just have to be bad at math.
The thing is they kind of threw me off because it was political science, and I had already chosen the major. And then I
Yeah.
looked it up a little bit after, picking it, and there are a lot of careers that you can go in, like, that are,
Bitch.
quantitative
Yeah.
analysis of stuff, and I'm like, I don't know how to multiply numbers.
Exactly. Someone,
But-
I love the good, like the, I heard this on Hassan's broadcast,
Friend
and
of
then
the show.
I decided to use it as a bit because I
Yeah.
thought it was funny, so I stole his joke. But
Of
he was
course.
like, yeah, when you're a political science major, the only job that you can have is in insurance. And so then now when people ask me what I'm going to do with my, like, several degrees, because I can't pick one thing, I'll do 3.
So smart.
No, just indecisive.
No.
I go, yeah, I can maybe do insurance with this. My classics major poli-sci double minor.
But yeah,
just-
you got theater in there somewhere.
Yeah, that's the other minor.
You'll be a theatrical insurance salesman.
You know what? I think I'd make a lot of sales. Start
I
singing
think so,
like
too.
Les Mis or some shit.
But in the
Yeah.
context of purchasing homeowners insurance.
that
That'd be perfect.
Oh my god. That gave me the worst visual of like you open the door to some, you know how like Mormons and like Jehovah's Witnesses like come to the door and like
Yes.
just like yap. Like you open it, it's me and like sparkly button down or some shit singing
That-
about insurance. Like,
And you're making no sales at all. But
The
your outfit is
company-
like $2,000.
the company immediately fires me. They're like, you look fly as hell, but you're doing nothing for us.
We are actually losing money. You're putting the company credit card on these stores to purchase your sparkly outfits.
Like, stop bedazzling shit around the office, Rachel.
You're the personality hire of the insurance company.
Please.
Yeah.
Thank you. How are you doing?
That's a great question. It's been an interesting week. This is what I say every, like that exact phrase. It's been an interesting week with all the pauses and everything is exactly how I start my therapy on Monday. She's like, how you doing? And I know I haven't made any like mental progress or anything. So I'm like, it's been an interesting week. But it has been an interesting week. I've actually done shit. It's crazy.
Yay.
Because first off, I went to the doctor. I went to a real doctor.
Let's go.
It's crazy.
Go.
I haven't been to a doctor in years, since before college, and that doctor was a pediatrician, so he dealt with small children. And I figured it's probably time that I go see someone And I didn't realize that, like, what all that entailed. So, I get there, everyone's nice, it's fine. And then I get into the office, and this young lady is asking me all these questions. And she's like, "Are you sexually active? Probably not." All this stuff. And just got the vibe. She was like smiling when saying it. I was like, okay, man. And it was fine. And then she was like, "All right, I'm gonna step out, and you're gonna put this on." And I said, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna step out. You're gonna put this on." And it was a pink gown, and I have never worn one before, and it was a little bit tight. It was not the most flattering fit for me. So I wore that, and then she came in and was like, "It's on wrong." And I said, "For sure." So she stepped out again, and I did it again, and then I broke like the tie for it that you're supposed to like tie yourself with. I wanted to have like a cinched waist because I was like, if I'm wearing this shitty outfit, let me have the proportions a little bit. But I broke it because I'm too big, and then I had to pee in a cup for no reason, and I think I left it there on the table, and I don't think anyone picked it up.
Oh gosh.
Other than that, it was fine. And then the real doctor came in, also a woman, which was, progress, I guess. Never had a woman doctor. And she was like, "So why do you want like a full physical?" And I said, "I don't. I just wanted to come in for a checkup." And I didn't realize what that meant. And I'm very uncomfortable. And she was like, "Okay." And, she's going through the things, and she's asking about what medicine I'm taking. And, I tell her, and as I'm going through it, I'm realizing I'm technically prescribed so much medicine, like a handful of prescription drugs, which I don't take.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Can I ask how many?
I think I counted up to 6 different pill bundles that I have. 6, maybe 7, because I forgot about one.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
We love a good pill mill.
It is a pill mill, and I had my suspicions, but then they were quickly proved correctly because she was asking about it, and she was like, "Okay, you need to stop seeing that person because given your family history of this," and I talked about this on the very first episode where I had to get my blood drawn and everything, but it was like, "Given your family history of this medical condition and this is like very concerning and, possibly dangerous." And then she was like, "I'm not trying to make money. Please see a different psychiatrist." And I was like, "For sure." And then they attached me. Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised that medical professionals can care about people.
Right.
Because I have not experienced that recently. But then they hooked me up to an EKG thing. And as soon as, because they were also taking my blood pressure, and at first it was a little bit high. And she was like, "Okay, I'm going to take it again in a little bit. It's probably just nerves." And then it was even higher. And then she took it a third time. It increased even more. So all of a sudden, I start hearing some commotion in the background. There's 4 people that are kind of talking about this and a little bit freaked out because I told them this other medicine that I'm on, and they're like, "This is not a good combination. High blood pressure and this, this is causing something." But yeah, anyway, I left. My piss is on some table somewhere, and I might have a new psychiatrist. So that was the doctor.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We ball. We have a good time.
That's true. We do ball.
What's that?
Oh, you just reminded me. One of the guys I used to work with, he was taking a smoke break, and I was standing and watching him because I just wanted to chat with him. And we were outside behind, or by the trash can, or the dumpster behind the for those who don't know, I worked at a comedy club, so we're behind the building. Sure. And I was like, yeah, I thought it'd be hilarious if I got "fuck it, we ball" tattooed on my wrist right here. And he goes, "Oh, Rachel, you need to get "fuck it, we ball" on one, and then "fuck it, we fall" on the other, and then you can just decide what you want to do one day." And I was like, you know what, Cade, you're so right. Yes. Wow. So you just reminded me of that. Shout out Cade. I hope he's doing well.
We ball, and sometimes we fall.
Sometimes we fall.
Sometimes we fall when our blood pressure is way too high and people are freaking out, and they're like, "You need to let it fall." So anyway,
that's true. I love that they were not calm at all.
They weren't. It wasn't calm. They were trying to maintain a front of everything's fine, but I could clearly and loudly hear several medical professionals in the background freaking out.
That's crazy.
But then I decided afterwards, I was like, I had such a productive day today. Let me go out of my comfort zone even more and go on a date. So I went on a date.
Oh my God.
Huge. It was fun. It was a good time. And not to out this person immediately, but they did start bleeding from their ear because they had just gotten a piercing at the start of the date.
Shit.
They were
Oh
bleeding.
no.
And I thought it was funny. And no, but like
Garrett!
I was a good date partner there. I laughed and then offered like napkins and shit.
Okay.
They were very chill about it. Everything was fine. And then yeah, it was a chill day. And then we sat by the water and we're just chilling. Yeah, it was cute. It was a nice time.
Oh,
and
that's
then
so sweet.
and then this guy came up 5 feet from us and started playing the bagpipes. And it was honestly the perfect end to a fun date. Was
Play.
bagpipes playing really loudly. And shout out to him. It was good. They were good. He was playing well. But yeah, that was my eventful day. And then I did nothing the rest of the week. So
Real.
Yeah.
Not to be that bitch, but did you
Mhm.
get a star sign from your date? What's their star sign?
Leo, actually.
Leo?
So
Hell
two
yeah.
Leos. Two Leos.
That's a crazy combo.
It was a fun combo because then because we were like bantering back and forth, bordering on bullying. That's kind
As
of
two
vibe I bring
Leos
to a
would.
date. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they go like, wait, when's your birthday? And I'm like, August 14th. And they're like, oh shit, yeah, mine was Sunday, so we're both Leos. And I was like, that rocks. That's perfect. That's a wonderful combination. That's surely gonna end well.
It will.
Listen.
You gave me. What the?
I'm not trying to be too serious on the podcast. I'm not trying
That's
to be
fair.
like, oh, whatever. It was a nice time, but I am me, and I like as much as I would like to have, a nice, healthy thing. It's also funny to ruin things for the bit. So
I respect the bit
yeah,
a lot. Yeah. I actually, with Peter, if we're having a moment, if either of us see an opportunity to like make a joke or like continue the bit a little bit,
yeah,
no matter what, you do it.
of course.
And like respect the bit. It doesn't matter if we're having a sweet moment. The bit always.
The
I fuck with
bit
it.
triumphs everything.
It does.
I have pulled out bits before in previous things when we're fighting. It has not ended well. And
I'd imagine not.
but I make myself laugh, and I think that's what's important in any
Good.
dating relation, any dynamic you're in.
Why do something if it's not funny?
Yes, and funny only to you is the,
Exactly.
is the main- This person
No
is
one
clearly
else.
going through something and wants to discuss it, or is upset at me, and I see an opportunity. I've done it
Take the bait.
countless times. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like they'll say something or I'll say something and I realize it's in like the iambic pentameter, whatever that phrase is,
Yeah.
of like another bit or like a bit that I know and have said before. So I'll tack it on. I'll tack the bit onto an argument just to calm down
Respect.
the situation.
Soldier.
And it's never calmed it down.
No, I'd imagine not.
No. Anyway, how you doing, Rachel?
I'm doing okay. I think it's really funny that on our topic doc you put Rachel News dash
Yeah, I need a placeholder.
That's fair. I really haven't done anything. Like I thought my class was done. It's not done. I have 2 more projects.
What the fuck?
I know. I know. So
I
have
thought you
to
took your
get on
final.
That was apparently a draft. Like, kidding me, man? So I have to go back and I have to like fix my draft and turn my draft in and then do the other projects and then we're done. I'm just so sad because I bought Snoopy as like a celebratory thing.
Yeah.
And now I'm
And
like, damn it! Now I have to like give
now
myself
he's just
another
a draft
treat.
celebration. Yeah.
Now it's a draft celebration and I have to go spend more money on another treat.
Of course. I spent money on eBay for no
Slay.
treat because I was like, I want to spend. I'm $400 in the hole, but let me spend some money on eBay. But anyway, yeah, buy something else once you complete something.
I will do that. I'll let you. I'll keep you updated. I literally in between like gym and like PT, and like that is my life. I had PT earlier today, and this is so stupid. For some reason I was like, let me do leg day at the gym. Let me run like a little bit over a mile. Let me do a good leg day, like a solid leg day.
Yeah.
And then let me go to PT right after for my legs.
Honestly, I do kind of respect it because you're like overworking them.
Exactly.
You're getting them like solid.
I haven't had knee pain in a few weeks, but I left this PT and I went, holy shit, there's the knee pain.
Oh.
I was like that's
what
fault.
PT is for, right?
Exactly, right? Yeah, it's to make it go like, or at least strengthen your muscles and give you the tools to like help fix the problem later. Because I mean, a lot of problems they're not gonna just go away like that. But truly, did
they fix your flat feet? I can say what.
Kind of.
There you go.
They had me buy little shoe inserts for my shoes, and then they made me get $135 shoes.
Absolutely not. That's not happening.
She was like, bring, like, my old gym shoes were like these Pumas. They're my mom's old shoes. They are flat. There is no traction on them. There is no support. The laces are ripping. The inside of one of them, ripping. And they're fine. They're comfortable. I like brought them to PT, and she takes them and goes, no, you can't be running in these. You can't be doing anything in these. And I was like, but please, these are great. I love them.
They're heirlooms.
They're heirlooms. My mom wore them once and hated them. I took them. Yeah. And she goes, no. And so she made me get new shoes. I was like, what the hell? Miss PT lady. I
realized my feet are so small that I can't wear shoes properly. They're either too small, so I buy small shoes, but then I realize the shoes are too small for my small feet, so it's like a double small thing. And then the back is like I'm getting blisters, and I wear Converse only.
If you put like moleskin in your shoes, that should help.
Moleskin?
Yeah, you can get
like the journals.
No, no. It's like, I don't know. You can get like strips at like probably a drugstore.
That's fun. But I have resorted to, because I realized the only times I leave my house are to get food down the block or to smoke. So almost for both of those things, I have resorted to wearing just my slippers.
No, the slippers!
Yeah, because they're the most comfy. And I realized I'm like turning into, an old kind of grandma who like... Yeah. Because one time I was fully wearing my pajamas, like my red plaid...
Oh my God.
like bottoms. And I was out, it was like 2 a.m. at this point, and there was like a siren down the block and like an ambulance, and I saw police cars. So I'm like hunched over with my cigarette, and I'm walking down the block. It's like not 30 degrees, but it's kind of cold outside. Yeah. And I'm like smoking and passing all these cop cars. The cops are looking at me, and I'm like, this is my block. I've lived here for many years. What's this commotion?
That's great.
Yeah.
So I haven't looked at the topic doc for today. I have no idea what's been going on in the world. I like lightly watch Hassan, and then I was looking at something. It was like Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk crying. I was like, oh my God, again?
Well, spoiler alert, that's not on here. Because if I did see it, I would probably skip it. But you should mention that at some point. Mention that during the episode.
Yeah.
Because that's huge news.
They're like, if you don't vote Trump in, something about DEI. And I was like, oh my God.
We are the DEI country.
We are the DEI country, yeah.
And this is the DEI podcast.
Jesus Christ.
2 white guys.
Okay, so what's the news this week, Garrett?
The news? Okay. We got some news for you. We have a few stories that I gathered. And the first one, I wanted to preface this by saying, I haven't listened to the Charlie XCX album, but I think I can confidently say that Charlie was right in saying that Kamala is Brat. Because Charlie XCX tweeted that Kamala was Brat. With that context, parlaying that into the news, according to new reporting and just a straight-up admission from her campaign, Harris is no longer supporting a federal job guarantee, a resolution which was sort of attached to the Green New Deal, which she was a co-sponsor of. So Kamala is in full Brat action. She is not supporting a job, universal jobs. Let's go, Kamala. It's
Oh,
great.
okay, Kamala.
Mm-hmm.
I was with some friends today, and right before we were like yapping about politics a little bit, and then out of nowhere, one of my friends just goes, "Weren't her parents like both like registered communists?" And I was like, in this moment, I was like, "Let's think about this. What would her parents say?"
I mean, I don't know if Kamala's parents were, but I remember Pete Buttigieg's dad was like a communist or like Marx scholar. And seeing the fall from grace of the Buttigieg family, where Pete is now just a fucking normie ass lib who's like, we must vote Kamala. It's like, come on, man, your dad contributed great scholarly work to the cause.
Like that's gotta hurt as the parent, like stabs straight through the heart or something.
I want if I became a communist scholar, which is the goal of this podcast, is to transition into a job at Columbia University, where I will be a tenured professor making $500,000 a year and teaching 2 classes. And my children became the next generation of Pete Buttigiegs of the world. I would kill myself. That's terrible.
And you're right for that.
Yeah, but that's not all for
gosh.
Kamala. Another fun one is fracking.
Oh.
We love fracking, don't we, folks?
Love fracking.
The Harris campaign was quick to reassure voters that she will not ban fracking if elected president. And this was after Donald Trump mentioned her 2019 stance that the practice should be stopped. Kamala said in 2019, I'm not really a big fan of fracking. I think we should transition into something else. And Trump pointed that out, being like, look how woke she is. Don't worry, folks. She's not banning fracking.
Okay. So this is kind of like when we were talking about Biden with abortion.
Yes.
You can just not say something.
Very
you can
true.
just keep your mouth shut. People aren't gonna ask if you don't say nothing, and I don't think your average Republican who maybe listens to Trump is gonna start tweeting at Kamala what's your position on fracking? Girl, you could keep your mouth shut.
It's one of those issues that people forget about, but it's such a shitty thing, and then all of a sudden a right-wing guy like Trump will be like, she supports banning fracking, and then instead of ignoring it, like you said, Kamala and the campaign is like, no, that's terrible. We love fracking.
Also, you're right. This is no, you don't really see people campaigning on fracking a lot, or at all. It's the bottom of the list on their website. You could just not mention it. People only care because of mob mentality. They're gonna forget about it again.
Or Mamba mentality,
exactly.
Kobe. He was the Mamba, right? I don't know. I never watched basketball.
I think so.
Yeah.
I remember.
Shout out Kobe. Actually, don't. I think he was a bad guy. Anyway, this is not a sports podcast.
This is not. Yeah.
But maybe one day we'll transition.
Maybe one day I'll start yapping about basketball on here, but be so incorrect.
I mean, you played basketball, so you have the authority.
Right. I know
have watched clips, so.
Okay, next thing. Sorry.
Well, I did want to just this thing about fracking, because I have a couple more on this.
Oh, beautiful.
The article from The Hill had an interesting line.
Oh, no.
And they were talking about this headline, and the headline was, Harris campaign pledges she won't ban fracking after Trump accusation. And then they said, scream, the new headline. The fact that Trump had pointed out something that Harris said at least twice, unequivocally, on camera, was now an accusation or allegation. So I love the framing from the Democrats that no, you can't accuse us of this thing, which is good, by the way, which you should ban fracking. But they're like, no, it's an accusation and allegation. So that was fun.
I love that, that's what they call Trump's words. As if they couldn't, there's a slew of other things that would be better fitting for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what the campaign is doing in regards to this. And you were saying it's not a popular issue. I think I remember Biden in 2020, even after he won the nomination, was so wishy-washy about fracking. And people were like, just shut up about fracking. Don't mention it. Either way you spin it, you're losing votes.
Yeah. People are going to be unhappy no matter what.
Very true. Yeah. And some reporting was saying he's very liberal. He's against fracking. But then Biden would just straight out say no, I'm for it. We need it. We need it, Jack. We love fracking.
What do you mean?
Yeah, and then I think like Chris Hayes, to that point of shutting the fuck up. Chris Hayes from MSNBC, all in with Chris Hayes. Shout out
Love.
MSNBC. He pointed out, and this was an interesting thing, I think in like 2020, saying even Pennsylvania voters, like upstate that Biden needed to win and where fracking hypothetically would take place even more and is taking place, like that's the major place, Pennsylvania voters are not super pro fracking. They like, there were polls, and I'm sure even more modern polls now compared to 2020, where voters like are not super supportive of fracking because it is fucking up their ecosystems.
This is something you could just like not mention, get elected, and then like fix
Yeah.
while you're like in office, and then no one would know.
Right.
And like, or like people would, you know, like know about it, but it wouldn't be like a major issue. No one would care at the end of the day. Like, sure, people are gonna be mad either way, but like not as riled up as they're gonna be during an election.
Yeah. I think I read this article in Jacobin many years ago when I was a baby leftist and still am. But they're like, what they should do is just shut up about fracking and then get in office and then nationalize it, like nationalize the entire industry. And I'm like, that would work. Yes, let's do that.
Let's nationalize it. Yeah.
I'm pro that. Like, unironically, I am pro nationalizing the oil and gas industry to just shut it down. I think that's the move. And then last up in this Kamala is Brat trifecta. So last but probably not least in the amount of things that she has changed in like the past week is Kamala is no longer in favor of a single payer healthcare system like something akin to Medicare for all. Even though in like 2019, 2020, she was like, I support it. I think it's cool. No worries. She's not anymore.
I was about to say, because like when I opened it before the episode, I saw that. I'm like, isn't that like, that's not her whole thing, but like she has like that kind of like that area of leftist takes or like left leaning takes.
Yeah.
You take that out. You take like the Medicare for all, universal healthcare, whatever out. What? Huh?
She has had ever since, because I remember, and I kind of liked Kamala, I'll admit, in like when she was first running against all the other people, she had some spicy takes. And even against Joe Biden, she was like, you're friends with the segregationist. Like, and she had like this, I don't know, objectively kind of like powerful line about how she was like a young black woman or young black girl and how like these policies affected her and how Joe Biden was in support of them. And then now to see her like get swept up. And of course she was always like basically establishment Democrat or like just outside of it. But now that she is firmly establishment Democrat, to see all of her backtracking is insane.
I'm going to now direct this at Vice President Biden. And it's personal, and I was actually it was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country, who also worked with them to oppose busing. You know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools, and she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
I sent you that thing on TikTok of her. She was on some like night or talk show, and she was like answering a question by this guy about how she would handle guns and I guess like banning guns, and it was like a buyback system. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, like that's like eat like Kamala is Brat, like let's go. Of
course.
And you're right, to see her backtracking, it's like, what, girl, what are you doing? You campaigned as like, you've I guess like campaigned and also like I guess projected herself to be more left leaning and have more progressive-esque policies. And now what is this? I don't know. Or more progressive policies when you put her next to someone like Pete Buttigieg or Biden.
And now people are saying that Pete Buttigieg is going to be the vice president pick, which I think is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
My mom texted me and was like, I hope it's Pete. And I'm like, Mom, come on.
No,
love you, Mom. But yeah, because I watched that TikTok clip like you were saying, and policies aside and everything, that was on Jimmy Fallon. And I was like, what the fuck was Jimmy Fallon doing?
I didn't realize it was on Jimmy Fallon. I was just...
I think they like cut him out of the frame. And I was like, that's the fucking Jimmy Fallon set. What did she do?
Why is she on Jimmy Fallon?
Bro thinks he's part of the team. What is he doing?
Imagine Jimmy Fallon as the VP pick. That'd be crazy.
I could see it happening.
That would be such a good pick.
Because like the percentage of people or like that sect of people who's like, I want Michelle Obama to be the vice president. And it's like, fuck Michelle, but like, come on, dog. Like, she hates everything about politics, and respect to her.
Yeah.
If Mr. Fallon came in, and I think that would work. I do like his ice cream. Shout out the Tonight Dough.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
That's a good.
Oh,
But yes,
I'm gonna interject because I see that. Did you watch Trump at the Black Journalists Convention?
Yes.
Dude,
Holy
oh my god!
I read the transcript of
I
it.
did watch that, and I watched like clips here and there, and I had like turn it off and like walk away at some point because I was like, what is going on, dude? What?
He was cooking with black mold. I don't know
What was he doing?
Trump is losing his shit in a different way.
Yeah.
And then, like, I think before or after that, like, Black Journalist Convention, he tweeted a childhood photo of Kamala and her family and, like, was accusing her of not being black and just Indian. Insane move.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And then, yeah, can you speak on the that conference from whatever little bit you saw? Because I didn't have the heart to watch the video.
It's awful. So the one I had to like shut off because there's the two parts that I remember distinctly of where one of them was about DEI, which is just crazy to me that that's become such an issue recently.
Oh, yeah.
I can't comprehend it. But anyways, the first one is he like walks out on stage and the woman interviewing him asks him like, why should black voters vote for you? You haven't done anything for the community. You haven't like delivered on any promises. Like this, you've said like these horrible comments, like why should we vote for you? And he was like, starts going off on this like screaming match actually with her.
Shout out.
Where he's like, you must work for ABC. This is a terrible network. You're so aggressive. Like you made me wait for 30 minutes because your like technology's faulty. I have done the most for the black community. I am like just as like good as Abraham Lincoln. And that's when I turned it off because I went, no. That's insane. You obviously just lying about doing any policies, period, to help the black community. And then also equating himself to Abraham Lincoln is crazy.
That's what I love about that, besides the Abraham Lincoln thing, which, shout out, a wonderful comparison.
Is a great comparison.
The pettiness, like, Trump kind of queens out a little bit, if I could say that. Because he, like, you know, we shared, like, last episode or something, him talking about, like, theater. And I think I put a clip in the edit of him, like, talking about Phantom of the Opera. But him being like, your technology is faulty. I had to wait. Like, his, like, production brain is like, oh, my God, you couldn't get the production of this right.
I love that he name dropped ABC and he goes, you must work for ABC. They're such a terrible network.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
What if she didn't work for ABC at all?
That'd be crazy. Like, the next bit was about DEI, where I can't remember the exact question, but I think it was about, like, has he had statements about, like, I know, like, it's been a more recent policy to, like, roll back DEI requirements to make, like, laws about it. And he's probably made some inappropriate statement. I just don't know the specifics.
Yeah, I don't know anything specifically. I know he, like, yes.
I remembered. I'm sorry. Sorry. The memory came right back. He said Kamala Harris is a DEI hire. And... the memory just came roaring back.
Yes.
And she was like, you've said this, like, that's inappropriate. Like, what, like, speak on that. Like, what do you, like, people have called you out. Like, what do you think? And he was like, well, define DEI. And then the lady goes, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And he goes, give me a definition of DEI. And she's like, I did. And he goes, no, you didn't. Give me a definition. And it's them going back and forth.
He doesn't understand those words.
No, he doesn't. They're more than 3 letters.
Yeah.
So that was that one. Was he said that, and then he was like, "You're a terrible interviewer. You're aggressive." And I'm like, "Dude, oh my God."
I just wish he had a television network. I wish he dropped out of politics and he had his own show, and he was the next Wendy Williams. That's all I wanted.
I was gonna say the next Alex Jones.
That, you know, Alex. I was actually listening to someone. I think it was the Yard podcast with fucking Ludwig. They were talking about Alex Jones. And they're like, you know, accountability aside, like all that shit he said, like, he's fucking funny. Like, he's got some good shit.
Did I tell you about the time at the comedy club that Alex Jones was there?
I think you mentioned it, but I never heard the story, and you gotta share it.
Oh my God. So for the people listening, I worked in the back. I just like served food out. I never talked to customers. And it was, this comedian was like Brian Cullen or Callen was playing. and I can't mention the name of the comedy club, but he's banned from this comedy club because of
Alex
the Sandy Hook
Jones.
comments. Yes, he's not allowed. And I remember one of my managers came back and she came right up to me and goes, you get a ticket for table 405, you spit in the food, and like walked away. And I was like, I mean, I will, Heather, but like what? And then I'm like asking around and I find out like Alex Jones is in, and he snuck in 15 minutes after the show began because the lights are down and you can't see him. And I remember before this I had walked out and I was like serving food and I saw table 405 and it's like a pack of like beefy like white men ex frat boys. Then I was like, oh shit, like great, that's gonna be fun. And then I walked by them again and I went, oh my god, that's Alex Jones. Holy shit. And he's like hiding in the corner with like his hat down, and he like is literally sitting like that, like with hunched over so you can't see him. And you know, props to my management for like handling it, because they, as soon as they realized, oh, like he's actually here, like they had like one of the bigger, taller, like beefier servers who could like handle him, serve his food. There was a girl, or one of the server serving him. She's like 4'9", this like petite blonde woman. She's so sweet. Hope she's doing well. But they were like, nope, we're gonna put someone else in there because like we're not gonna have any like anything happen. And then he went up to one of my other there were 4 managers. He went up to one of the other managers after the show and was like, hey, you can come back to my studio, and invited my manager and the security guards.
That's
and
huge.
The manager and this specific security guard come to the back, and they're like talking to like me and some of the other like ushers and the line cooks about it. And they're like, well, what do we do? Because like everyone there hates him. They were lucky that our like head, like the boss, wasn't there, because she would have like stopped the show and kicked him out. Like nobody likes him. But this manager was like, what do you do? Because I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to be around him. But also I really want to go to the studio and see it.
Respect.
I was like, Steve, what do you mean? So that's my Alex
You
Jones
can't
story.
turn down an invitation.
You watched it with me, the This Place Sucks documentary by Andrew Callahan,
Yeah.
where he like went back to Alex Jones' studio and like was drinking with him and like bench pressing, and then talked about like, when that happens you don't say no. And like that's like a crazy offer, because like all of us hate him, but also like you can go to InfoWars and just like
being on the
it's
InfoWars
real.
set.
It's crazy. So that's my Alex Jones story.
I hope it's still going. I hope InfoWars is still. I think he owes like $2 billion or some shit.
He like cannot pay this back.
No,
Like
he is fucked. Mm-hmm. But
oh my God.
I love that. I love that you. I'm sad that you didn't go up to Alex Jones. Like all of you, and was like, leave. You're probably taller than Alex Jones.
I mean, probably. Yeah. It would. I don't know how he didn't get stopped at the door, because I recently went to a show at my old comedy club like earlier this week, and like we were a few minutes late. They like checked our IDs, because you have to be 18 or older to get in, and like stopped us before we could get in. And I'm like, this place is crawling with security, and they don't play around. Like, how did you get in? And then like they didn't realize who you were.
Maybe he just like, because this is not a body shaming podcast, but for Alex Jones, his amount of steroids and male supplements and shit that he takes contorts his body in such a way which is not physically possible. Like the laws of aerodynamics do not apply to him. So I'm wondering if he just kind of like hunched up like a turtle and kind of just rolled in like through the back door.
I mean, like, the thing is, his entire group of people that he was with were, like, copy-pasted. They, like, all were the same guy. It was, like, 6 Alex Jones. I was, like, it was crazy.
Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns. And I'm here to tell you, 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms. Doesn't matter how many lemmings you get out there on the street begging for them to have their guns taken. We will not relinquish them. Do you understand? That's why you're going to fail, and the establishment knows no matter how much propaganda, the Republic will rise again when you attempt to take our guns.
I don't know. I went to, and we'll get back to the news, because whatever. News is boring. But
news is boring.
I went to a comedy show over the weekend, my first comedy show. Not my first, but I went solo because I was like, fuck it, let me get a little drunk and go to a comedy show.
Wait.
And yeah.
When I get back, can we do that?
Oh, absolutely.
Please, I have a love-hate relationship with comedy, but I love going to stand up.
This was such an interesting experience.
Do tell.
Interesting in the fact that I was a little buzzed, so my memory is a little shifty. But I don't know. I was seated next to this young man who like had a very distinct laugh and would be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he said that!" Like during the sets that were going on.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then he kept
no.
like tapping the woman next, not like aggressively, but was like trying to talk to this woman, and she was like, "Yeah, for sure." But then I met like a Dime Square influencer afterwards.
Stop.
Introduced myself.
You. Oh my God.
And credit where credit is due, she was nice. I liked her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Slay.
But it was a great, really interesting crowd of very specific Twitter people that very few people know about, but they mean a lot to that very short amount of people.
Yeah.
But that was my comedy club experience, and I also met like one of the servers there, and he was like, "Yo, what's up, man?" And TJ Miller, who I learned later was canceled and is canceled for things that he allegedly has done to people on set.
Oh.
That being said, I was outside smoking a cigarette, and one of the guy who works at the club was like, "Oh yeah, TJ Miller's inside," and he was having a conversation with someone else, and I walk up and I said, "Did you say TJ Miller?" He was like, "Yeah, come in," and he was like, "Oh, but finish your cigarette first." And I was like, "No, I don't care. I'm throwing this shit out. I want to watch TJ Miller, an actor from Silicon Valley, a show that I watched like 9 years ago and didn't finish. But yeah, I watched that. Interesting time.
That's what? You have the wildest experiences out in New York.
You just shared. Yeah, it wasn't in New York. It was in Austin. But you just
true.
shared during your time working at Joe Rogan's comedy club.
No.
Fine, I'll leak it. You worked at the mothership.
I didn't work at the mothership. No.
Yeah. All good.
Oh my God. I looked at the mothership because I thought it would be a good bit to work there.
You should.
No.
I think you should.
It's like the meme with the two wolves inside of me, morality and the bit we're fighting.
I don't care. My morality goes out the window with comedy. I started getting into Kill Tony recently.
Oh my God. Wait. Not the Kill Tony podcast.
The Kill Tony podcast. Friend of the show.
That's great.
Yeah.
The great Kill Tony. Oh my God.
Love it.
Dude, one of the guys that I used to work with told me I should go see Legion of Skanks in New York, which is dubbed
I've heard of them,
most
yes.
offensive podcast ever. Like, they are banned from YouTube. They're banned from all podcasting platforms. They had to create their own website where they can like stream. And then the guy said like admission is free, but I looked at the website. It's not free. It's like $10-$20, which is pretty good for a New York comedy club, especially since they're literally not allowed to stream anywhere. But I looked and like their stuff is sold out for like months. So,
That's perfect.
But that would be such a crazy one to go to.
We need to go to an anti-woke comedy show that's banned off all platforms. That'd be wonderful.
We need to go there, yeah. Report back.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll go back to the news real quick because I what? No.
No, it was a really funny tangent. Like, all right, back to the news.
If we must go back to the news, but this is a funny quote from Trump because how did we even get here? Oh, we were talking about the DEI candidate that Kamala Harris is, according to Trump. He was doing some interview in Chicago and at that like I think Black Journalists Convention or Association or whatever, and he dropped a heater of a quote, and I'll read. This is from a Semaphore article, and it goes. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black, he said. So I don't know what I don't know. Is she Indian or is she black? He added that, I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn, and she became black. Somebody should look into that.
What?
Somebody should look into that. That's how he ends his quote. At first she was black, and then she was Indian, and then she went black again, and someone should look into it.
Oh my God.
I think he should be on Kill Tony. This is what I was
Oh my
going.
God.
Yeah.
Is he trying to do what people did to Obama when he was running for president right now?
I think I'm getting flashbacks of it. That fucking like birtherism
when you just
shit.
read that, like, you remember last time? I think you were like, it was last episode. You were saying like he built his platform on like insulting Joe Biden, and then now he was running out of shit to say.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
He is reaching in the bottom of the barrel right now.
Oh my god.
I think I saw a tweet, like a picture from one of his rallies, and like they just had a banner, like they had like a big screen type thing. I don't know. They were flashing like news articles, and one of them was just, I don't know, like Washington Post or something, and it was Kamala Harris set to be first black and Indian and woman Democratic nominee. And they were like, they just posted that without context at like the Trump rally. It's like the other stuff was talking about like, oh, they're going woke. They had like some sort of like political thing attached to it. And then just to have this article like, she's black, she's Indian, and she's a woman. And they just posted that straight up. And I was like, for sure, that's what we're going for now that Biden's out.
Okay, what was their goal?
I think to stoke that fire, like he's doing here at this convention of someone should look into that.
That's like, Jesus Christ. Okay.
I'm going to start using that quote. Somebody should look into that. Not all the other stuff. I'm not going to start using those quotes, but somebody should look into that. But this is all to say that I do not think Trump understands the concept of a multiracial person.
No.
I do not think he can comprehend it.
No.
And I'm sure that will do wonders for his campaign.
Right.
Yeah.
That's actually, when I was with my friends today, we were talking, and one of them went like, yeah, I'm scared, like, what if like Kamala can't win, or like one of the other nominees, and we get Trump? And I went, well, you didn't see last night, and all these other quotes. This is gonna move a lot of people's votes.
Oh yeah. Well, also speaking about moving votes, Trump is quickly trying to get the 12-year-old Minecrafters votes.
Stop.
Because he's allegedly going on Adin Ross's stream on August 5th.
On fucking like Kick or
on kick.tv, maybe kick.com.
Oh my gosh,
we love it.
Okay. Adin Ross has had such a downfall.
Oh yeah.
That it's like so interesting to me. Him like becoming really, really popular, like everyone loving him, everyone wanting to hang out. Andrew Tate showing up, him like dick riding for Andrew Tate, saying like some crazy things, and Loki, didn't Adin Ross play like a role in him getting arrested way back when? Or something? I
think there was something
on accident
about people were tweeting that like he went on Adin Ross's stream or something, and so they like triangulated where he was, and then he tweeted a picture of a pizza box. Yeah That's what it was. And then he started saying like a bunch of like crazy shit in general. Yeah. About like Trump, and then politics, and then now he's on Kick, and oh my god. Now he's on Kick, and he's trying to get back on Twitch, I think. And the Twitch CEO was like, I'll hear him out. And everyone was like, do not hear him out. This man is like, on top of all just like the dumb shit, like obviously, what's his name? Andrew Tate is fucking a disgusting person that's, changing the lives of, corrupting the youth, literally. But
oh my god.
Just painting him as a dumbass person, Adin Ross has done even worse shit than that.
Yeah. Like I have so many work stories. Also can't name this place, but it went out of business. It's the place I worked at when I first met you, actually. It was like this rundown little like corner store arcade beer place.
Dave and Buster's.
Dave and Buster's, exactly. No. But there was like there were these like arcade games. It's like a neighborhood place. And these two like young boys came in. They're like 12 at the oldest, and they're being annoying, but whatever. I'm like trying to clean. They're just like yapping, and then they start talking about Father Tate, and they're like, Ew. He knows everything. Like, do you watch Father Tate? And I was like, excuse me, you mean Andrew Tate? And they were like, yeah, he's great. I bet he could. They were like struggling with a claw machine, and they were like, I bet he could get the rubber duck out of this claw machine. And I was like, okay. I like went to the back. So I didn't know what to say, but these were like young kids. And like obviously Adin Ross was like a big, I guess, he was a big influencer for that age range, and for like him to even be considered to go back to Twitch where he could do more harm.
Right.
Is crazy. Like
Just keep him on that pedophile platform. I watched I think it was Jay Aubrey or someone he did a thing like an expose of Kick. I did not realize how rampant that platform was of literally like child molesters.
Like when you create a platform for like that, just no rules is the rule.
Yeah.
You're like the worst, like the people from the depths of like hell's gutters are gonna crawl out and like buy a webcam. Like that's, I don't know who thought that was a good idea.
Did you see the recent trend on Kick of people who are allegedly not child predators but who go out and catch child predators?
I didn't know that was a trend. I knew that was like an MTV show.
Yeah, I mean they had like Chris Hansen and shit, but ever since that got off the air, no worries, Kick.com is here to fill the void. And these guys like literally do the Chris Hansen shit where they're like pretending to be young girls or whatever, and they like lure these pedophiles into a public place. And obviously pedophiles are bad. Gonna go on record and say that, and you can quote me on that.
Yeah.
But these Kick streamers go in. Okay. I needed a transition word.
No, I know.
These Kick streamers, they go in and they like film the pedophile, whatever. But then they like, I saw this one from a few days ago where they made the pedophile eat like the world's hottest chip or something. And like, they're just like trying to do like torture porn basically of pedophiles and broadcasting them. And then I think they just like leave. I've never seen the cops like show up and take them over. They do like a citizen's arrest and like make them eat the world's spiciest chip, and then I think they just leave.
What?
I think that's all they do.
That's great. What? That's so pointless.
I love Kick.com.
Oh my god.
It's really funny because you're taking something like so bad. You're taking a child predator, and then you're also making yourself look terrible by being like, instead of going through the proper channels, instead of like, okay, let's report this part, let's do all this. And maybe they do like after the stream. I haven't watched a full stream of this thing, but like the immediate like content brain kicking in instead of like, oh shit, this guy can like hurt children. They're like, let's make him like tweeze his nose hairs or something and eat like the world's spiciest chip.
Like insane, because they're literally broadcasting themselves. You could like arrest so many people. Like, I don't know, stop that from happening.
Right.
But you're like, no, let's eat the world's spiciest chip and like, I don't know, make you feel a little bit of pain for too short of a time. We
gotta love Kick. But anyway, yes, Trump is going on Adin Ross's stream apparently. So he's gonna win back all of not win back, but he's winning a new audience because he already, any multiracial person is gonna see all these quotes about Kamala, and they're like, okay, maybe not, maybe he lost that demographic of people, that small demographic. But don't worry, he's gonna win back 12-year-olds who cannot vote, but he's gonna get their vote. Don't worry.
That's the demographic we really need to be going after.
Of course.
People who legally can't vote.
Did you see this Vance thing? Because we've been talking about Vance quite a bit, and this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I didn't read this full article that I have linked here, but the highlight is in the second paragraph about Vance is not doing too hot in terms of polling, and we touched on this last week where he was historically unpopular. He has fallen even further.
I've seen that like Trump has been trying to distance himself a little bit from Vance because now he's realizing, like very slowly realizing, what a bad pick this was.
Oh yeah.
But that's
just incredibly bad.
What else have you seen?
Well, it was this polling where he's down what is it? Or no, favorable, he's at 28%, unfavorable, he's at 44%.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's God. A CNN poll.
Wait, and that's then, in Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, and Wisconsin. That's
important states, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, no, Ohio is now... Is it Ohio or is it Oklahoma that was a swing state, but now it's a lock for the Republican Party?
I thought Ohio was a swing state. I don't...
One of those. I don't remember. I think it might be Ohio. But for him to be so low in those 5 states is crazy. Because you're right, those are important states.
Ohio is, according to Wikipedia, Ohio is considered a swing state being won by either the Democratic or Republican candidates from election to election. So shout out Vance.
Let's go, Vance. Just Dance Vance.
Just Dance Vance, episode 2, truly Orwellian. Go check it out. But Trump is like, he's saying that Vance has no impact on his electoral chances. Trump very clearly knows that Vance is just such a shitty pick. And he's now going on the record and being like, well, I like Vance, but nobody really cares about the vice president. The vice president is meaningless. You're only voting for the president. It doesn't matter. You could be the worst vice president in history, and they'll still vote for me. And
That's
it's like,
crazy.
We'll see, brother.
Because did he do like no thinking? Because I mean, Mike Pence was a good pick because he got like that evangelical vote on lock.
Yeah.
And he brought in, I guess, your establishment GOP votes because he was quiet and didn't talk, and like his only appearance was when the fly was like on his head in that debate. And I guess he was appealed to like the traditional Republicans, but now you picked Vance, who
only appeals to Redditors.
Exactly. And like, I mean, Vance is forgettable, but Mike Pence was like forgettable in the way that, like, in a good way, I think. In a way that's beneficial.
The silent evil. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Beneficial to the conservatives, because Mike Pence was a bad person.
Yeah,
but he did have some funny quotes about being like, I think he called his wife mother several times. And I don't think he can be alone with other women. His wife has to be there at all times. Allegedly, from what I've heard.
I know nothing about Mike Pence, and I have chosen to stay that way. I didn't like how he looked.
No, yeah.
His hair was nasty.
His hair was nasty, so nasty that a fly flew on it.
Crazy.
Which honestly happens to me all the time. I'm gonna say it. Flies. Anyway, that was it for Trump and Vance. I'm pretty sure. I did have a quick thing on here about the Secret Service is allegedly gonna get more funding even after they really fucked up that assassination attempt.
I really love that the solution to things is throw more money at it.
For everything.
It's so funny.
Literally everything.
Like, I mean, yes, but also, how are you going to use that money?
They're going to have more snipers on roofs, but they're not going to put other snipers on roofs that are slightly slanted, which was the whole debacle, which is why the president almost got assassinated. His roof's a little slanted.
They're gonna like fund another person's mansion, and that's it. No change.
We gotta love it. Speaking of things we love, gay people. We gotta love them. Okay. Biden is he's honestly just chilling now that he's not out of office, but essentially I just wanted to read mentally checked out, and I wanted to read this quick little quote that Biden had about gay people and his legacy. So the question was, Mr. President, how about your legacy for LGBTQ Americans? Okay. And I'm going to read verbatim. I'm not switching sentences randomly. This is exactly what he said.
I have it open to fact check you.
Yes. Well, I'm very proud of my position. I was the first guy to come out for gay marriage. The Obama administration, my dad was dropping me off to get a license to be a lifeguard in the city. We get out of the car in the center of the city. When we get out of the car, 2 guys leaned in and kissed each other. I'd never seen that before. I looked at my dad and he said, Joey, it's simple. They love each other. It's simple. That's my position. Let's go, JB.
Let's go, Biden.
Yeah.
I honestly, when you were reading it, I hadn't read this before. I thought he was going to go off on a tangent about like how his dad was dropping him off to get a license.
It was very close.
He switched it up, and I was like, he's going to talk about the car now.
Yeah. I mean, already starting off great in this first sentence. I was the first guy, and then he just goes, the Obama administration, my dad was dropping me off to get a license. He is like in the stage of dementia where like every year is like coming at him at like this like soup bowl, and he's like just the memories are swirling towards him. He thinks it's like 1942, and then the next day it's like 2024. It's crazy. We love him.
Go Biden for that, I guess. I don't know.
Go Biden. Another W for the LGBTQ community. Grimes. We talked about Elon Musk's terrible Jordan Peterson interview last week, in which he talked about, I lost a son. No, you didn't. your child was trans. That's what happened. And Grimes, they can never make me hate you, Grimes. Love your music. Grimes, who famously dated Elon Musk for a little bit, comes out and says, I love and am forever endlessly proud of Vivian. And Vivian is Elon Musk's trans daughter, who he has cut off contact with. But the big kicker of this is 2 days after, Elon Musk unfollows Grimes on Twitter. That's a W for Grimes and a W for the trans and LGBTQ community. We got it back to back.
God damn.
I love it.
I have no words. That's wow, what a man.
We love Grimes. We love Biden.
Grimes.
Biden and Grimes. Honestly, Grimes should run, and Biden should be the VP for Grimes.
Yeah. Do you remember when Grimes did that photo shoot with the Communist Manifesto?
Oh yeah, that completely staged paparazzi shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can never make me hate you. Grimes.
That's
Gotta love
crazy. Go her, I guess.
Who is Duffy?
Duffy is my muse, and he also runs the cult that I'm in.
This is we got Biden on gay people, we got Grimes on gay people, and now we have J.K. Rowling on the LGBTQ community.
I saw that this morning, and I logged off of Twitter.
Even people like Logan Paul is like, we have to get men out of women's sports. The context of this is 2 fighters in the Olympics, I guess boxing or MMA, something like that. They fought, and one of them gave up after 46 seconds because she was punched too hard, and people are saying that the person who punched her is actually a man. Turns out, no, they're both cisgender women. Okay, they're both women. I'm not even going to read J.K. Rowling's tweet where it's like, the men's rights movement or whatever. She's not transgender. She's born.
Yeah. I read her tweet this morning and I just was like, what are you saying, girl?
Yeah.
No one get off of Twitter. No one thinks you're a girl boss. Get off.
No. The fall from grace of J.K. Rowling is something for the history books.
Can I this is so embarrassing, but
Say it.
so I was really bored one day, and I watched a 2-hour-long video by this anarchist who was deep diving into the Harry Potter government and the Harry Potter world and talking about why all of it's wrong and all of it's just terrible from start to finish.
Yeah.
And he at one point pauses the video and he goes, okay, watch my other videos on anarchist theory because I'm not going over it again. And I was like, Jesus Christ, okay. And I didn't watch those yet. But
all I know
British
about
anarchist, it's crazy.
That's I may have watched that same guy on I think he may have done something on The West Wing, which is a wonderful show.
What he was saying, I was like, you're right. She was never a liberal darling.
No.
She was just a Republican the entire time, making not thinking, and then everyone was like, oh, fun book, and then just rose-colored glasses for the longest time. I
mean, I'll admit, I dressed up as Harry Potter before. I was a Harry Potter kid. I was in those circles. And it's great how a lot of the Harry Potter community is especially younger people, gay, LGBTQ, it was a certain moment in history where it was these books could be kind of a refuge from all the shit you are getting. Right. At least from what I've observed and my own personal experiences, people that I've known who have had they use these books as okay, this was just that aligned with part of my childhood. And now that J.K. Rowling is turning her back on everyone, basically.
It's crazy. When I was growing up, Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and all this fantasy stuff was a really big part, like you're saying. Yeah. And a sanctuary from I went to private school, people were mean there, and then I could go home and I'd watch this and be yeah, this is great, I feel good, love it. And then later to see the creator of a lot of this stuff just be such a terrible person is it hurts.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
But I don't think anything can top J.K. Rowling's response to this one particular person where, I don't know, J.K. Rowling was rightfully getting shit for something, and this lady responds and is like, I love you, Joanne, you know, always a friend. And J.K. Rowling responds like, love you too, XX. And people research the person she was responding to, and the first thing that comes up is an article that she wrote that's, I think the title is, We Should Befriend Nazis. Come on.
What?
Yeah. She's really going mask off here. But back to this Olympics thing, this fighting thing. Yeah, so this woman beats again, make clear, this woman beats another woman at fighting, and people are saying that she's trans, and some stuff came out about like, oh, well, she had a higher level of testosterone, and it's like, having a higher level of testosterone does not make you a male or anything.
No.
And allegedly, I have a low testosterone level, and I'm not a woman. I won't say I have it. I won't say I have a low testosterone level, but I'm not a woman. People aren't claiming that I'm a woman. So.
That's crazy. Oh my god, this reminded me of this was a few weeks ago. People were like digging up this like photos of this trans creator after like the Trump shooting, and they were like, this is the person who shot it. And then
oh my god, yeah.
using like this like person's platform as an excuse to like just shit on trans people.
Yeah.
And this poor person was like, guys, no. And it was
It's
just
not
very
me.
obviously not the same person. Like, what? People just use anything. It's crazy.
People use anything, including Trump, who tweeted a video of the fighting and was like, I will keep men out of women's sports, was his thing. Just shitty things all around.
On that note about Trump, I woke up this morning to several different like breaking news tweets that were like, Trump states this, and it was like rolling back like gender affirming care, and there was, I can't remember, the other one was like similar. I think it was something probably about the not the economy, no, Project 20 something.
Oh yeah, 2025.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm gonna do this thing that's terrible. Like, Jesus, there were like 12 of them.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
He's
man. Who let him have Twitter back?
well, I think he does have Twitter back, but he doesn't post on Twitter. This was just a repost of a truth post. I love that they're called truths, because everything he said is so true.
Yeah, right.
But this fighting was at the Olympics. Speaking of the Olympics, Palestine showing up to the Olympics.
Ooh.
Let's go P. Let's go Palestine.
Yo.
However, more research and people are pointing out that Israel is also at the Olympics, even though some other big countries are not. And Israel has literally killed 69 Palestinian Olympians and injured several more. One did not make it to the Olympics. He did not qualify because he lost so much weight from basically being poisoned by Israel.
Which, oh my God. I'm trying not to out people, but
Okay.
somebody I follow on Instagram posts some incredible, like just made up, like pro-Israel propaganda, like the most far-reaching shit, back of the barrel you could imagine. And she's been posting like, France is pro-Palestine, they're allowing all this shit, and it like posting like, there was I guess like a subway ban, or no, like a bus, you know, like the little bus things, like the little benches, they have like little signs, and there was something like a pro-Palestine like banner there, and then there's this like long like twit longer like Instagram's like infographic like ripping it apart, being like, this is inappropriate, this is disgusting, just like the most egregious shit. And it blows my mind. It hurts my brain to think about like how deep in the trenches you have to be to see that.
I don't have any words for what Israel is doing. And we talked about it a little bit last episode. And we're going to continue to keep talking about it, because it is a genocide, and it is one of the worst things I've ever seen, if not like the worst. But yeah, the fact that 69 Olympians are dead. And then I think like some Israeli swimmers or whatever, they edited the photo, but they like swam in the position of like, bring the hostages home or whatever. And it's like, look how many people you had to make that, and Palestine has very few Olympians.
Let's like think about this one for a minute.
Yeah.
Like, what?
But we can end on this. This was a nice little note about a Palestinian boxer who was the flag bearer for Palestine at the Olympics at the opening. And this is from Democracy Now! He said, after losing his match on Sunday, Abu Sal said, quote, "The Olympic Games are already a victory for Palestine." So I thought that was sweet. They showed up and shut up Palestine. That's all we say. But that's all I got for the news.
Whoa.
Huge news week, kind of.
Wild batch of news week. Went all over the place.
Yes, ma'am.
Jeez.
We don't know. Anything else to add? Anything else we want to share? I'm still thinking about your Alex Jones comedy story. I think that is one of the funniest things. I
have some crazy places or stories from that place. Like, do you know who Gary Owens is? I think I might have talked about him once with you.
I've heard the name before.
Okay, so he has like 2 million or so followers, and he tangent. So
yes,
he shows up at the comedy club, and for the way this kind of works is like someone will headline like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's 2 shows on Friday and Saturday, and then they have like they sometimes have 2 shows Sundays, but mostly just like 1. And so that's like what 6 shows. He did like I think 2 weekends maybe. I don't know. He did a lot of shows. He just did like an outrageous amount of shows, and he sold out every single one of them. And that's I want to say over 300 people in this showroom. Like we're gonna put it in scale. His whole thing is that he won this award for being the blackest white guy, and that's his whole like shtick. He goes out there and is just like is racist, and I can't understand why like he sold out so much and why he's so popular. And I remember like I'd go out. I didn't really hear a lot of the comedy sets that I worked at, but I remember going out there and I'm like, he's not funny.
I love that he's selling out though. Like
I know.
Several days.
And I would go and like serve food to the comics, and I'd go to like the green room, and his headliner was just making. They're not jokes. Like first off, they're just not jokes. Yeah. I just don't know what else to like label them as because he's trying to be a comedian, but he's making like jokes and telling stories about like how he's into younger women. And I went back there, and he's just like, it was bad.
Yeah, I can imagine.
He said thanks like so weird. He winked at me, and I was like, no. And I like ran back to the kitchen, and I looked at like some of the other guys I worked with, and I went, you guys are going back there now, not me.
Oh yeah, that's probably the smart thing to do.
Yeah, so
gotta love.
There's so many stories from that place.
So many stories, and all of them will be shared here on Truly Orwellian.
Oh
in
yes.
The future. I do, not on this episode because we are running long, but I do want you to share that TI story.
Oh my god,
that's one of my favorite things.
My TI story is crazy.
Fuck Nelly, fuck TI. That's my favorite video, and I love that you met one of the guys in there, TI. Shout out TI.
Woke up, I look at the computer say, Floyd said, fuck TI, fuck Nelly, fuck 50. I'm like, what did he say fuck me for? Nelly fucked your first baby mama, Melissa, then took your fucking fiance. Say fuck that nigga.
No spoilers.
Shout out TI. Next week, I'll tell you about TI.
That's a perfect end, I think. Anyway,
beautiful.
Everyone, this has been episode 4, Truly Orwellian. Please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcast and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts because you can do that. You can actually read.
If you leave a funny review, I'll read it on the pod.
That's such a huge incentive.
Yeah.
And we're gaining new listeners every week, so there's more of a chance that we could hear you. So you gotta get your story in.
Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, and subscribe on YouTube. Truly Orwellian.
Subscribe on YouTube. All the places Truly Orwellian. Anyway, stay tuned next week. Next week we may have a banger episode for you, by the way. We may have some. We've got shit cooking. Stuff is cooking. That's all I'm gonna say.
Stuff is cooking.
We got shit cooking. Anyway, thanks, gang. Goodbye.
Right. Bye-bye.